good day of fishing. 11 in the boat. Looking forward to tomorrow. Someone asked me the other day on one of the comments, they said, hey, if I'm going to go solo camping like for the first time, I'm kind of nervous. What do you suggest as far as security goes? Well, here's the number one thing that I would suggest when you're camping. Camp in an established campground. I wouldn't boondock somewhere like, out in the woods somewhere. I would stay in an established campground. When you stay in an established campground, the first thing you want to do is go meet the camp host. Just go up there and knock on their door. Most of them, I've never ran into a bad camp host. Most of them are great. Here at Celina, Indian Lake, just awesome. Lonnie and Jean and Julie, they're just great people. Go introduce yourself to them. Really kind of feel like that may not be enough. Go ahead and set camp up somewhere where they're set up. Maybe the next side, 2 sites over, whatever. That might make you feel a little bit better there because they take care of the campgrounds, no doubt. So that's a suggestion for you. Go meet the camp host, say hello, introduce yourself. You'll feel much better. One of my favorite stories is one of my favorite camp hosts. Like I really like, the folks that work here at Celina, Indian Lake. They're great. But one of my favorite camp hosts up north on Lake Superior, her name was Bonnie. I called her the sheriff. She was by herself with her dog up there on Lake Superior all summer long into the fall. But I tell you what, nothing gets by Bonnie. You better believe if you try to sneak in there and take an extra day, set up a little bit early, whatever you want to do, forget about it. Bonnie will be there. She'll let you know what needs to be done. If you don't follow her instructions, a lot of times she might give you a warning or two. Then here comes the police, here comes the sheriff, here comes the local authorities to let you know Bonnie's not messing around. I actually got in trouble with her one time. I actually set up a day early. Nobody was on the campsite. What the heck? No problem. She left a note when I got back hiking from the beach. You need to move your camp immediately. I thought, oh, what the heck? I got it rented tomorrow. No big deal. Well, she came back about an hour later. She was serious. So I had to apologize. I think she actually let me stay, but with instructions, if anybody pulls up, you are to leave immediately. Yes, ma'am, is what I told her. Nobody showed up. I went ahead and stayed 14 days. No problem. So anyways, that's funny. Bonnie the sheriff. If you go up to Lake Superior, 12 Mile Beach, she'll be there. Once again, hey, if you're a little uncomfortable about being by yourself, go meet Bonnie. Let her know you're here. Camp by her. She'll protect you. Camp all set up. Ready for another day of fishing tomorrow. Oh yeah. That was a pretty good day of fishing. 11 in the boat. Probably at least twice that was hooked coming up to the boat. Jumped off. Those bass are sneaky about that. But that's a good day of fishing. Looking forward to tomorrow. Oh yeah. P.S. Gone fishing. 1987. Built in Indiana, northern Indiana. Nice boat. Performed well today. assisted in catching 11 fish in the boat. I appreciate it, Selvin. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Yeah, I just did a video was talking about this. This is why it's nice to come to your national forest, and I believe even your state parks. No fireworks. You know, might be a place to bring your dogs. The dogs that are really scared. At least they don't have to worry about it here. But we'll still hear them in the distance in southern Indiana. No doubt. You know, I think this looks like a new sign. Wow. It's impressive. Very, very nice. Hoosier National Forest. Couple things to remember. If you go camping, everybody has quiet hours. Now this is an established campground, that is. A lot of people don't like this one, but pets must be leashed. Yep, that's important. If you wonder why, send me a comment. I'll let you know what I think. Yeah, it's like I always told the kids when we camped as they were growing up. Make sure that campsite is neater than we found it. Here at the Hoosier National Forest, that's pretty hard to do though, because they are nice and clean all the time. One nice thing about camping in the Hoosier National Forest is it's nice and quiet. It's always like really quiet down here. It's pretty nice, pretty enjoyable. Hoosier National Forest, Indian Celina Lake recreational area. It's a nice place to come. They've got beautiful campsites here. North Face Campground, South Slope Campground. Pick one, can't go wrong. You can reserve it at recreation.gov, and you can get on there and reserve a site. That way when you get here, it's all ready to go. It's a Friday night, we've got people pulling in. Usually when I camp here during the week, it's rare to see a car go by. Charlie Larry caught 2 fish today right off the bat. His first cast on Celina Lake, he caught a nice bass. And he caught another one shortly after that. But then after that, it just died for a while. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in the get out there at the crack of dawn, because that's when the fish bite. To me, fish bite in the afternoon. I mean, like anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4, somewhere in there, it just seems like there's always a feeding frenzy. I always catch fish right. And I shouldn't say always, because knock on wood, next time I try it, I'll get skunked. Tomorrow I'll get skunked. Me and Charlie, his middle name's Larry. He don't mind me saying that. I like Charlie Larry. I like the name Charlie Larry. I think that sounds like a professional fisherman to me. Charlie Larry, come on up here and weigh you. Anyways, he has won a lot of tournaments. He's a good fisherman. I've caught some fish in the morning, but when I go fishing, I don't fish the whole time, as you know if you watch my videos. And I noticed today, you know, the difference between like me and Charlie Larry was Charlie Larry got there and he's ready to fish. He's a fisherman. And I mean, I was watching him and he'd throw it out there, boy, he would just eyeball that line. He knew every little tick. Bam! It was fun watching him. Me, I mean, this is how it goes. I'm fishing, throw it out there, fishing. Next thing you know, oh, there's a jet, and I'm filming a jet up in the sky, and I put that down, and I grab my pole, and I start fishing. Oh, there's some ducks. Put my pole down. It takes so much time to do that. It's amazing. But that's why I get the films that I do, because I'm there as a creator filmmaker, and that's what I do. I just see it all. It's kind of strange when I come here to the Hoosier National Forest, and when I go out on Celina Lake or Indian Lake, you don't really have cell service. It'll float through every now and then, but it's you'll hear your phone ding, but if you try to like pull up any kind of video or anything, there's no way to work. When I get back here to the campsite now, my phone has been steadily dinging probably for an hour. And what that is that's subscribers commenting on the videos, that's subscribers liking the videos, you know, just things like that are going on. But you know what? The channel's growing all the time. It's taken on this life of its own that, you know, videos, you know, I've been doing this over 3 years now, and some of the videos, I've got 1,500 videos, but a lot of those are YouTube shorts, but probably long form. I have 800-900 videos, long form. I forget about a lot of them. People will comment on them and say, hey, thank you very much, or wow, I like that idea. Whoa, I just saw the largest bat I believe I've ever seen. There it goes. It's working this area right here. There it goes. I wonder if I got it just then. Whoa, there's two of them. Wow. Wow, that was pretty cool. Well, nightfall has come, and I think I'm going to crash out here shortly. Get a good night's sleep. Be ready for fishing tomorrow. Get your good night's sleep. Eat a good breakfast. Let's get on out there. Let's go after some more bass. Hey, good morning. That was a pretty good night's sleep. Most of the time, I at least wake up 2 or 3 times throughout the night. Hear things walking around, do a little filming, at least audio, some of the barred owls. I would say last night was quiet, but the thing is that the tree frogs are so loud. Tree frogs and regular frogs, bullfrogs, they're so loud that it just created that celestial blanket to the point of where even campers, there's quite a few campers here this weekend, because it's really nice. It got down like 59 degrees last night, which is great. The frogs just kind of created this sound that just drowned out all the other campers and throughout the night. So I probably had animals and stuff walking through, but I couldn't hear them. And here's a tip for you. Whenever you camp, if you're camping and you're going to go out for the day, go down to the beach, take a hike, like today I'm going to go fishing again. You always want to probably go ahead and take your valuable stuff out of the tent, put it in your vehicle, have it locked up with you, especially if you got any security devices, things like that. It's not a good idea to leave them in your tent. We always look at that as, I don't really think that there's people coming around campgrounds stealing stuff. There are probably some cases of that, but I always worry about a couple kids, maybe a couple boys, 10 years old, messing around the campground, butting around the campground, looking around and stuff, and just one of them dares another one, they open the tent up and go in there and they find some stuff. Especially like with the security devices and stuff, you don't want that to come in the hands of kids for sure. So anyways, I always lock everything up in the vehicle. Got a lot of stuff to do before I head out. Gonna eat some breakfast. Hey, I'm glad you came along. Glad you made the trip. We're gonna get out there. I got a feeling we're gonna catch some bass again today. Each time I go out on Celina Lake, I just a little bit more. I just figure it out. It was fun being out there yesterday with Charlie Larry. And just like with me, if Charlie Larry came back again and he was going to go out there, he knows a little bit more about that lake than he did the day before. Hey, I've talked about this before in some of my videos. If you had something you were going to take into your tent at night, something a little, security device that you wanted to bring in there. Let's say you're not into firearms and you don't really have a knife, anything like that. Bear spray, pepper spray, that's good, but you got to be careful you don't spray it and it blows back in your face. Always a concern. If you're going to use it, you're obviously worried about whatever the threat is, and I don't know if you're going to be paying attention to the wind or not, so you got to pay attention to that if you do carry bear spray. I saw a video the other day on YouTube where there's a bear on the trail, and they went to spray it, and you can just see the spray just went like a cloud and then drifted right up on them. I don't think the bear got it at all, but they sure were coughing and hacking. Just something like this right here, a Scriba fighting stick. You know, you can make this out of oak. You want something, make it out of hickory, something that's really, really solid, that's going to be able to take a hit and not break on you. My number one thing to always have with me, whether I'm on a road trip, whether I am camping in and out of a camper, you know, this is just so nice to have. You can get on YouTube, you can learn how to use them. Excrema stick is always on there. This is something that you want to come up with right here and will really help you out in a bad situation. Check it out, do the research. Very handy to have with you. This is my Rock Pal right here. It's a 300 watt battery bank. I really like it. Right now you can see it is using 26 watts. I've got 84% left on it. I used it all day yesterday for my dash cam on the 1980 Selvin. But you can see I've got my cell phone hooked up. And this battery right here goes to my Nikon camera. Now the camera I'm using right now, I've got plenty of batteries for it. I probably have at least a dozen batteries. I'm not too concerned about it going down. And then I can always, on the boat, I can always charge them up. But it just takes a little battery like this one right here. While I go ahead and eat breakfast, I'm going to keep these charged up. This is my camera bag right here with everything in it. You can see I've got my Mora knife. Got my Mora knife right here. I always keep a light. Light like this right here is real important to have a light system anytime you travel around, especially in the evening. Got a little pepper spray hanging there. Yeah, you know, some people say, man, you're serious about that security stuff. You better believe it. You better be. If you're going to be out here traveling, especially, once again, you travel solo, your chances of something happening, I believe, goes up. So if you're going to travel solo and stuff, just make sure you've got protection with you. Anything that you need, a bad situation starts up, you can at least take care of it or get out of the situation. You know, the one thing about camping when you're on a road trip, you know, it's pretty important to not rush in the morning. Now, I know if you're on a real tight schedule, you're going across the country, every day you're driving 10 hours, 12 hours, something like that. Then you get up in the morning and you get going because you got a long ways to go. But it's important to try not to do that because, you know, the mornings are pretty nice. I mean, they're the kind of thing that you want to kind of get out here and kind of enjoy and get everything organized, eat you some good breakfast, things like that. That's one thing that always bothered me about backpack. A lot of times when you take a backpacking trip, you figured so many miles in a day. And it seemed like every morning, you know, I'd wake up, have to pack my tent down and my backpack and get everything ready and try to eat some breakfast, put my pack on and get going because you've got so many miles to do. You end up losing a lot of the experience of just seeing the birds and the animals and just hearing the sounds of morning. Morning's a very special time. It's when the world's waking up. It's pretty nice to kind of just enjoy it. Sleeping in, if you're camping, and you're at a campground and you think you're going to sleep in, better rethink it because most campgrounds you just can't do that. 8 o'clock in the morning, the kids are running around riding their bicycles, the animals, the cars are leaving, doors are slamming. You might as well figure that you're going to have to get up. There's going to be no sleeping in a campground. I'd be surprised unless you actually have a camper, a hard shell camper with an air conditioning unit blasting. Then you'd probably sleep through the noise. Besides that, it's probably not going to work out very well for you. Looks like a pretty nice day out here. I see one boat so far, and it looks like to me like it's a pontoon boat, which is very unusual. Haven't seen very many pontoon boats out here. But I think it's a good time to enjoy a super coffee. This is a mocha latte. Can't beat them in the morning, especially when it's hot like this. Hot cup of coffee just don't taste as good as a cold mocha latte. Fishing report for you. So far, no fish in the boat. That doesn't really surprise me any because I have just never done good first thing in the morning. I've had a few bites. It's getting pretty hot out here. It's already hit 80, I would think. I had a professional fisherman that worked with me, at Gander Mountain. He used to tell me all his fish, all his big fish, a lot of his major wins he won in tournaments was in the afternoon. I know I'm not a pro fisherman, not even close to it. My experience is my experience. I just know that I catch fish in the afternoon. Somewhere around 2, 3, happened again yesterday. I don't think it's because I'm concentrating anymore. If anything, I'm concentrating less. I don't like the sun. I've done paid a price for it. Dermatologist had to cut a little piece out of my back, and she was telling me, stay out of the sun, Mr. Lawrence. I'm not fooling with you here. It's bad news, and brought my Columbia long sleeve shirt here, and even though it's a little bit warmer to wear it, I'm going to wear it. Even though I put sunscreen on, I'm going to wear it. I wanted to get that done. Hey, fishermen, hands. Do your hands. Make sure you do your hands good, because I've seen a lot of people with some skin cancer on their hands and stuff. You know, they're wearing long sleeve shirts like this, but hands still get it. It's always a good thing to go into the wind and then turn around and come back. And that way there, if you ever have your batteries go low, if you ever have any problem with your boat, the wind will kind of just bring you back to where you put in. Here on Celina Lake, so the north side of the lake is where the launch is, and then the dam is down here on the south end. And so a lot of times, every once in a while, you'll have this northeast wind like today, and it's just blowing from the dock this way. You know, I don't want to hang out up by the dock all day, so I usually just come on back, turn around, and I'm just going to kind of work with the wind all the way back. Not your best case scenario, but sometimes you just got to do it. You know, Charlie Larry was telling me yesterday, he just lost a good buddy of his. They've been fishing for decades and decades, won many tournaments. And his friend passed away. Just hearing that just makes me think that, you know, life, you know, well, I guess it makes everybody think that, you know, life is passing by. And don't forget about your buddies. Don't forget about the people you like to fish with, hike with, camp with. Give them a call. Go out and do something, because we just don't know. We don't know the day, the week, the month, the hour. Get out there and make sure you enjoy your friends. Make sure you get out there yourself and enjoy this life. Looks like today is a day where Mr. Lawrence does not get skunked. He flipped off and he's in the boat. He's flipping around in the boat. That's what I need to do. I need to learn to identify these fish. But there we go. Small little bass, hit it pretty hard. Nibbled on it a few times. I just was cautious. I just waited and boom. Now he's got some pretty brown eyes, pretty bright eyes. It's kind of amazing. Sometimes they have brown eyes and sometimes their eyes are all black. Hey, I'll let you back in the water, buddy. Appreciate it. Grow up. Goodbye. All right, there we go. No skunk day, one fish in the boat. Let's go after a few more. With this new Lew's reel that I have, it's a 6.2 by 1. I think that's pretty quick, and I think what happens is when I catch a fish, I'm actually overcompensating and reeling it in too fast, and I might be actually pulling the hook out of its mouth. So I've decided to slow my retrieve down a little bit, just steadily bring it in and see if that does. Well, that little one right there, that wouldn't hook very good because he flipped off on the bottom of the selvin here. Maybe if I would have tried to reel him too fast, it would have never worked. I'm not sure. All right, we got fish number 2 in the boat. Fish number 2 in the boat. There we go. All right, fish number 2 in the boat. A little bit larger than that last one. Got him on a blue sapphire. I went ahead and changed from the green pumpkin to the blue sapphire. Got about 3 or 4 pretty good hits down this shoreline. Finally landed one. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. Bye. All right, we have noon. It is noon. 2 fish in the boat. Gonna keep on going. 1 o'clock, I'm calling it an official lunch hour. Got a lot of hits along that shoreline right there. Have changed over to the blue sapphire. Seem to be working pretty good. I think there may be a lot of small bass in here because I'll get that like double hit. Try to set the hook. It's not setting. When I bring it in, the creature's like squished up against the bottom of the hook. They're biting it, but I don't think they're real big, and I'm just pulling it right out of their mouth. I'm thinking it's probably getting close to the mid 80s right now. A little bit of a breeze every now and then. But time for lunch, time to regenerate, time to take a break, time to get in the shade. Thank you. Whew, boy, it's hot out here, especially in that direct sun. What these companies are doing, instead of bringing the price down, back down to $1.29 or maybe even back down to the 89 cents, what they're doing is they're advertising these. And so like I bought these right here, $1.79. Well, if you buy 3 of them, you get 1 free. So you just do the quick math. If you get 1 free, you know, that's about 50 cents off the other 3. So that brings it back down to $1.29. That's about what it was. But they are turning a lot of merchandise doing that, and they're still pricing it higher than it was before, the 89 cents. And you just have to watch it because it seems like they're all the time scamming us. They're scamming us over this gas. They're scamming us over our food, you know, and they say, well, we're giving it on sale. No, you're not. You're still pricing it way too high, but you're giving a little bit off here and a little bit off there, and thinking, well, we should be acceptance of that. But all I know is this is chilled, and it's Gatorade Zero. Tastes good. Hot days like this, a lot better than water for you because it's got the electrolytes in it. Had a real cool white stork. I guess that's what it is. You know, most of the time you see the blue herons, or I guess this is a heron, yeah. Most of the time you see all blue herons here, but this one is pure white. And it was pretty cool because it come floating in and landed back here in the cove. And now since I've been eating lunch, he or she systematically is just going along that shoreline and just finding all kind of things to eat. But it's pretty cool to watch it just like stalk something. It'll stare at it for 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden just spear it. Or, you know, I'm going to work my way around the bank and kind of head back along this shoreline right here and see what happens. You know, probably quit in about 2 hours, load the selvin up, go back to camp, break camp down, and probably go ahead and head back to the cabin this evening. You know, so far, 2 fish in the boat, got a lot of bites. Still an enjoyable day, not like yesterday. Caught a lot more fish yesterday, but still nice to be out, still learning a lot, still dealing with these weeds and learning how to deal with the weeds. Had somebody pass me by on a boat the other day, and I'd seen him out here before. He's a pretty nice guy. Actually, there's 2 of them on this boat. He's got a real nice boat. But he went by and kind of exchanged, how you doing? Fine. And I said, weeds? And he goes, oh yeah. I said, well, you know what? It makes us better fishermen. He goes, you got that right. If you can fish lakes like this with weeds and do okay, then, you know, you could imagine lakes without weeds in them. It must be a breeze to fish. Well, I put the green pumpkin back on. Son of a gun. Something just bit one of its pinchers off. I got to thinking, oh man, I don't want to have to switch that out. I only have a few left. But then I got to thinking, no, there ain't no sense having one with only one pincher. When I've got some in the bag, it has 2. So, I'll put him on standby for emergency purposes. And I'll get out the old creature. Woo! Down to 2. It's getting slim. Of course, I only have about an hour and a half to go, so I think I'll make it. That concludes the fishing trip for this weekend. Today, only 2 in the boat. Got a lot of different bites. Got a lot of fish on the hook. Came off as they were coming toward the boat. Not exactly sure what was going on. Me and Charlie Larry were talking about that yesterday, you know. I know at one point he actually has a little file, and he took his hook and filed his hook to make it a little bit sharper. So I don't know. I got a feeling it might be there's an awful lot of real small bass in here that are hitting it. For instance, the one that grabbed the pincher and pulled the pincher off my creature. Brand new creature at that. I think that was a pretty small one. Just kind of, I was pulling him in and he was holding on, and then he just ripped the pincher right off. Oh, I got a breakdown camp. I'll probably be here about another hour and a half, and then I'm going to head home to the cabin. Now, it's always important when you take a trip like this. Tomorrow, the first thing is I'll get all my camping gear put back together and ready for the next trip. Just met a couple folks. They were from Illinois, and they've moved to this area right here in the Santa Claus area. It was nice to meet them, see them here at the Hoosier National Forest at Indian Celina Lake, discovering, you know, the beauty. The beauty of this area is just incredible. The lakes and the hiking trails, the places to camp. Hoosier National Forest is not really wide from east to west, but it is long from the Ohio River all the way up to Bloomington, Indiana. A lot of area, covers a lot of area. I appreciate you coming to the channel for this long weekend that we've had here. That's LAF Space Film Fest, capital LAF Space Film Fest. Hey, if you would, hammer down that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Helps me to come places like this, introduce the Hoosier National Forest to the whole world. It's a beautiful place. To me, it's just one of the treasures in the Midwest. Never a crowd, always seclusion, whatever you want. Nice place to be. Hey, I appreciate you coming by, and I'll be talking to you on the next video. After a good day of fishing, yeah. Get a good night's sleep. Get up in the morning, go after those big bass. You know, this isn't a bad idea. With the forest fires these days everywhere, you can have a little fire without having to burn. LEDs. Pretty nice. Oh yeah.